call the meeting to order. Okay, so I guess we will... Okay, we'll start with the minutes.
What packet were your minutes in? Where were your minutes?
It was right on the top.
I know, but mine. That's okay, I can look at, Gloria, can I share with you?
Oh, here you go.
I'll share.
There you go.
I just
It was
don't,
kind of in order.
do you see it here? I just don't.
Right here.
Those are Gloria's.
All right, there you go.
That's okay.
Here, go
Thank
ahead and
you.
read
Do you
it.
have an agenda in there?
No, but that's okay, I can, if Gloria will share if you don't mind.
Right?
Okay, we're good. Oh, I read these online, okay, so I read them.
Make a motion to accept the minutes of the March 25th, 2022 regular meeting of the Granby Housing Authority Board of Commissioners.
Second,
Any
It was the
further?
May 18th meeting.
Is that-
March is wrong at the top.
Does
that
it say
typo?
March on the
this one
top?
says May.
No,
This one says May.
Oh, the
The
top
minutes
says,
of
the
March.
top
Top says
says,
March
yeah,
25th, that's
okay.
Oh,
just-
sorry. I'll
so these
correct
should
that.
be the minutes
That's what
of,
computers do sometimes.
Tuesday, the May 18th minutes.
no, this is the April,
No, it's May 18th.
May 18th.
We're
oh,
in
these are
June.
the May, oh, right, this is June.
May.
Okay, that's correct. So
I'll
you just-
second Gloria's motion.
Okay. Okay, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Okay, next is the director's report.
All right, so it's the clipped stuff that's all together. And I'm gonna kind of start at the top and work my way down.
Okay.
We do have one vacancy that will be coming up here in the middle of July. We have a tenant that's moving. There are no major maintenance issues at either of the facilities. The capital improvement, the hallways, we're just waiting on the rest of the material for them to finish. Then we get into the formula funding award, which is the long piece of paper that I gave you if you want to follow along. So I have to let them know what we're going to do to spend the money that they awarded us. So in going through everything, we have $74,500 to spend. So what we did was our thinking behind everything was to try and come up with a bunch of projects that will free up money in the next couple of years so we can get that other roof done. So we chose the construction of the new maintenance garage and the back shed, which is up there for $40,000. Trimming some trees at Hillside that need to come down, filling the cracks in the driveway here, and then the ceiling fan relocation. That came in a lot higher than what any of us had ever thought about because of they have to test for asbestos. So we've earmarked $16,746 of the almost $22,000 that they think it's going to cost. So the cost just to the housing authority would be the balance of $500 or $5,000.
For those new fans,
That is covering that, buying new fans for everybody, and putting everything up,
and how many is that?
every unit.
54.
54.
56 units.
56.
Mhm.
Is that scheduled to be done?
No, it's not scheduled to be done yet.
Yeah,
Once
yet.
we earmark the money for it and DHCD lets us know that they've approved what we want to spend the money on.
And who did that bid for you?
Actually, Jim and Hugh, our CAT guy, have been the ones working on it.
Okay.
We got a quote
So,
from an electrician.
Can I just,
Yep.
the actual cost is 21,919.
Yep,
It says balance of project is 5.
$5,173, which
That's what-
would come
that's
out of
what we-
our bank account.
We have to pay, yeah.
Okay, but what about the 16,000 then?
That's coming from the ARPA funds that DHCD has
Okay,
awarded us.
so it's gonna cost,
16
Us,
plus
15.
5.
so
Right.
it's gonna cost us 5,000 on
$5,000.
it? Okay,
Our bank account will be the $5,000.
Yeah.
okay.
5,173, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I believe we should do this.
Absolutely.
I think ceiling
Well, we're
fans are
discussing
critical.
it right now. We're not up for vote right now, is it?
Well, we have to vote on the ARPA funding. I
We have to
let-
vote on the ARPA
If
funding,
we
right.
don't let them know by next Wednesday what we're spending the money on, then it goes away.
Yeah.
So ARPA is giving all this money to us, the 40,000, the 7,000, all these
ARPA has-
individual
They're
things?
giving
They've
us
awarded us $74,500.
$500.
Okay,
And we,
so we gotta kick in 5,000 plus.
right,
Okay,
right,
Because the 74.5 does not cover
right.
the total cost.
I understand, yeah.
Okay.
We just figured if we took some projects that are coming up in the next couple of years, we would be able to free up money to actually have enough to do a roof. Because the 74,000 is not enough to do a roof, but if we get rid of a couple of projects,
A roof on one of the
one of our
buildings?
buildings, yeah.
Okay, well, one thing that is gonna be coming up is we submitted for the alternative energy credits. So we'll know what we're gonna be getting in August. And even though historically now, half that money that we would get goes to DHCD's coffers, we wanna fight them on it, and then
Oh, it doesn't
that
have
would be a chunk of money that we could apply to the next roof
Right.
project. Because it should be significant, I don't know, $40,000 or 50 yet. I'm not sure exactly what, but it should be significant, so. Although I don't know if we get paid all in one lump sum or whether
He didn't
it's-
say,
Okay, okay,
so I just need
Right now,
to,
we're not concerned about that, we're just focused on
no,
this.
no, we're not
this-
concerned, I'm just saying that we're gonna have like an extra chunk of money coming to us so that we could apply that to a big expensive project like the next roof section or something like that.
Who's doing the work at the maintenance garage for 40,000?
who's doing the work? We don't know yet. They're actually looking, Jim's looking into a metal building. We haven't hit the options yet.
So that's not a firm cost then?
No.
No, not,
So when we put the project into the annual plan, that's the amount of money that they figured it would cost to do the project.
Same thing with the tree trimming,
Right.
$8,000. Are they cutting trees down too for that much money?
Yeah, that's what they are. They're taking the trees
who's
down.
doing-
We don't
who's
have
doing that?
anyone to do the work yet. We have a bid from 2 years ago. So we went off that it's gonna cost a little bit more than what the bids were when we
How
didn't
many
have the money.
trees are they taking down? You know?
Jim, Dakota?
12?
Yeah.
12?
So the maintenance garage is moving from there over.
Well, we're keeping this here, but we'll be able to use that. Like, right now, there's no place to put the plow. The tractor goes in and out when we need it for different things. And
okay, so what we have to approve here is
the project.
the 74.5 for the 4 designated projects. So I guess I need a motion to approve the ARPA fund expenditure of $74,500, itemized to maintenance garage at $40,650, hillside tree trimming at $7,978, Finns Hill crack filling at $9,101, and ceiling fan relocation at $16,746.
Can I go back a minute? Are we putting in new fans in the ceiling?
Yes.
So new fans, relocation of them for the proper distance.
Yes.
Okay.
So one more question. If you find out the tree trimming is going to be more, because this was a bid from 2 years ago?
Well, we had the bids from 2 years ago, and we added a little bit more money onto it.
Or you already did that,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
But again, these are estimates. We just, in order to secure the funds, we just have to say, we have
Yeah.
these projects and here's what we're estimating,
Okay.
you know, so, okay.
I'll make that motion to approve the 7405 in the ARPA funds.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, unanimous.
All right. Next is the dental vision insurance. A group of executive directors and CEOs of different housing authorities in Western Mass got together, and dental and vision insurance isn't offered to any housing authority employee, so they created a group, found somebody that's willing to give the insurance. It is open to full-time and part-time employees. You can take one or the other. I just need the board to vote whether they would allow us to participate in it. And if you do allow us to participate in it, the full-time expense would be, for the dental would be $24.52 a month, the vision would be $6.95 a month. That's if there are people that, any of the maintenance staff that takes the insurance, and then part-time employees would have the whole premium deducted from their paycheck. So the housing authority occurs no cost for them, but it just occurs the 85%, which is what you pay.
The 85% of the 2452 is
No,
what-
the 2452 is the cost.
Right. So if you're, so the housing authority, if you're full-time, is gonna pay 85% of $24.52.
No, 2452 is the 85%.
Oh, that is the
Yeah.
85%?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I see, okay, there it is.
Okay, how does that work now? How does,
No, what she said was below is that the two items, dental HA,
Yeah.
which is housing authority.
how does the housing authority pay it? That's what
It's a payroll deduction. It's like the group insurance now, it comes out of their paychecks each week, their portion of it, and then we pay the bill when the bill comes in. So
They would be paying,
the
we
group
would be paying
insurance-
$24.52
So-
per a full-time employee per month.
So your salary does not change, but we pay,
So we have one employee right now that has the insurance, and his portion of the insurance is deducted from his paycheck every week. And then our portion of the insurance, we pay when the bill comes in monthly. So the 85% of what the cost is for their insurance just comes out of our,
I'm just looking at the housing authority pays 85%. That's the part I didn't really get.
yeah, we pay 85% of the insurance, the employee pays 15.
Okay, so what you're saying is our cost
Can never find
is
it.
$24.52
Would be
for dental
$24.52 a month.
and
for
six,
dental.
okay, I get it. I just got confused between the 15 and the 85 and then the part-time. And if you're part-time, you can be in the program, but you have
To pay the entire
to
premium.
pay the entire premium, which is an additional, wow, okay.
So for part-time employees, it would come out of our paycheck each month, each week, the total cost. So say the total cost is $100, you would have $25 taken out of our paycheck each week. So we are paying our premium. You're not paying our premium.
So I don't see why we have to approve it. I mean, if
Because-
it's totally an outside,
Because you have to approve, you're
So that
paying.
they can deduct.
First, the payroll deduction,
Oh,
and second,
okay.
you have two full-time maintenance staff personnel that get insurance if they choose to.
Two full-time?
They're both on the insurance, yep.
Yes, I know that. Not
So
on this
just out of
insurance.
curiosity, what is the cost of the dental premium?
The dental premium, it's like $28.70 something a
Yeah,
month.
so it's not that.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully it'll-
DHCD has no problem with this?
No,
No.
no. No, Tim from West Springfield.
You said that several groups are taking this, several
So,
housing authorities are
yeah.
taking this. Are they getting a group rate?
Yes, we
for
did.
this?
So what they did was Tim, the executive director from West Springfield, is the one that started it. They've been working on it for over a year, and they formed an entity, and then they went out to bid to find somebody that would give them the best rates, and they found the company, and they rolled it out to us last month at our meeting.
So is this going to be an annual contract that you have to renew and negotiate the cost each year?
I would think that's, I mean, like any other insurance,
Yeah.
that's how it goes. So if it goes up next year, then your premium's gonna go up like any other.
Do we have an option to take out of it, to get out at that time, once
Yeah,
once
you
we
can.
do
It-
renew
yeah.
the contract? Not that I care, but I'm just asking,
Well, I
trying to
would-
get all the particulars out on the table.
Right, but I
that's all.
would think we would just approve it, and then the individual, if the premium goes too high, they're just not
Right,
gonna
then we
renew
could
it.
opt out of it.
That's how it's gonna work,
Well, they're
so.
only paying 15% of the cost.
Well, right, but like if I wanted in it, I have to pay the 100% of it.
She's gotta pay
I
it.
pay all-
understand
Right,
that. I am aware of what the
Right.
situation is.
And if neither one of them choose to go into it, then there is no cost. They're not required to take the insurance.
Right.
Are they interested in it, the employees who qualify?
I know I am, I'm not sure if they are.
Well, you know, the funny thing is alternatively is for decades, I made the economic decision with kids not to even waste my money on dental insurance and just pay, but then dentists operated like, I've had this dentist, the Valley dentist, and one of the things they've gone to now is to help with their operating expense. If you pay them like $300 or $350 for the year, then every dental bill you have, whatever the cost is, the bill is cut by 20%.
Yeah, that, some
You
dental
know,
offices.
so
offer
that's
that,
different,
yeah.
you know, whereas like with seniors, you know, they've always done like automatic, if you don't have insurance, automatic 10% off. And if it's a big thing, then you pay this, you know, so
You
everybody's
just
doing
pay
these
up,
things.
that's it.
Yeah.
It can't be a very comprehensive plan at this price.
Right,
Probably
can't
just
be.
covers cleanings, x-rays.
They must have to pay
Anybody
some
know?
stuff.
I'm not sure,
Very
you know,
Oh, yeah.
the particulars of it.
Okay.
Well, you
I
can't
mean, they're not
afford
gonna
it.
cover dentures, they're not gonna cover extractions, they're not
But
gonna.
you
They're
don't know.
certainly not
No.
gonna cover
What,
insurance.
you
Well,
don't
maybe
have
up to
any clue
$500 a year or
what
something.
their coverage is?
Yeah.
No, because I didn't look into it further than that, because if you don't approve it, then it was no.
Well, how can we approve it if we don't know what's being
You're
covered?
just approving the cost. What the coverage is really, I will table it until next month and give you
No,
a
let's not
cover,
table it. Look,
a list of what
here's
the
my
coverage
point.
is.
We can get that copy, but they sort of need, you need to let them know, oh, that was that. So I don't know, when do you need to let them know? Can they wait a
Oh,
month?
it's, so July 1st, you have to sign up by July 1st in order to have coverage October 1st.
Okay,
or August
okay, then
1st.
we
So you're
have
always
to
a month-
approve it today, because this is June 22nd.
Right.
So from my perspective, I'll just throw out my perspective, then everyone else can chime in. Basically, you should do the coverage, most dental coverage at this price at 28, they're gonna basically cover one teeth cleaning a year, they're gonna cover one x-ray a year. After that, basically, it's gonna be a percentage based on what they do, and most of these coverages will not cover stuff like implants, which are super expensive. So, but that's basically, I mean, I investigated a policy periodically, I do that, and that's what it basically looked like. So at these low costs, you know, the other thing is, I think it's good to approve vision. You know, it's, you know, because it should cover at least one vision checkup a year, and so at $7 a month, we're talking about a total cost of $84 a year. And so we have to
Okay.
basically absorb 85% of that out of our budget. So the impact on our total budget is only probably between the two policies, the impact on our budget is only gonna be somewheres around $350 a person maximum for the year. If you take the 84, you take the, you know, the 20, whatever else is being paid on the policy, so.
It's It's always easy to spend somebody else's money.
There's a letter in here too that explains it a little bit more.
There is something in there here about that.
Yeah, the rate,
I would just like to know what's covered, because when you buy an insurance
Yeah.
plan, you know what's covered in the policy. That's all I was asking.
Yeah, I agree. Because they could come up and say, hey, we have an enhanced plan that is, $1,000 or whatever.
well, that'll
That's
still
what
be
they
up,
do.
that'll still be up to the employees to look at it. If they
And then
want it, then they're gonna have to
We're still
decide.
paying 85% of it, so whatever we say yes to, with blindly,
Well, I don't think DHCD is gonna blindly just let that cost go up,
this is
because,
a
It's not
DHCD, it's an
DHCD.
outside group.
no, I know, even though it's an outside group, isn't we're still paying for full-timers a percentage of the
It's in
You
bill,
pay
right?
85%.
Attached copies of
So
the
we pay
individual
85%.
Rate in the coverage
But they're gonna
plan.
say, okay,
And that's
next year
gonna
they
be
have an
figured in the
enhanced plan
budget, so
that covers-
DHCD,
Yeah, I mean,
I'll get the, for next month.
Yeah, I mean,
I
okay. Does everybody want to table this till next month?
Well, I think it's important if it starts July 1st, that we'll miss that, the beginning point for the employees who may be interested.
Yeah.
And we don't even know if the employees are gonna take it, as Timmy, so,
they will.
well, we don't know that, because they gotta look what they're getting and what.
Well, Tammy's gonna take it, even though she has no insurance, so she's gotta pay for it out of her pocket. And then, just maintenance. So if you look at two people on maintenance, and that's what I said, if you basically add it up, unless I miscalculated, it's about $350 a person a year more,
$384 a year
a year for both.
for one individual. So it
Okay.
would be
Okay,
almost $800 a year for both of them to have the coverage.
Well, I think it's a good benefit to
Yeah.
offer to our employees. It's their decision to make anyway, but.
so we'll still get a copy of the policy, but unless somebody really wants to absolutely table this thing, I'd like a motion to approve.
I'll make the motion to approve this dental vision insurance for the employees to consider.
Second.
Any further discussion?
one question. I mean, is this just for this policy? If it changes, if they have different plans, would we be coming back to it?
Yes,
Okay.
Yeah,
yes.
because
That
once a
was the
year.
rent, so the dental was broken down to employee, employee and spouse, employee and dependents, and family.
Okay.
And that's how and then it listed vision and the same breakdown for vision.
So this is for the employee only, not a spouse?
So
Or a
the prices I
child or
gave you
some- or
are
It's not a
the,
family thing?
no,
No.
the prices I gave you were the employee only because we just have 2 employees that aren't married and there's no spouses or dependents. So those are the prices for just 2 individuals. I didn't give you the prices for the family, but I want to say it was like $100 a month. And I didn't give them to you because Shelley would have to pay that herself.
Yeah.
Well, I think even if we approve it, I would like to see what the policy, what the coverage, if it's just fillings, or if it's an implant, or, if it's...
I can print that out before you leave today.
Just something. It would be nice to know exactly what the coverage is. I know I paid $350 for a dental plan, but it covered a lot of stuff. It was an annual price, but it did cover crowns and it did cover other things, and that's what I would be interested in knowing,
Okay.
that, what the actual coverage is, because it sounds good and maybe it is a really good plan.
Plus, they'd have to see if their dentists would be a part of this plan too.
Right.
Their dentist they have presently might not accept this.
Might not accept the plan, yeah, depends on the
That's
dental
up for them
office
to
they go
figure out,
to,
yep.
too.
Yep.
There's a lot of gray area.
Given the fact that the cost is $384 a year and how expensive everything is, I mean, I'm sure it's a basic plan, so. Okay, but Tammy will print out a copy of the dental insurance plan for Gloria before you leave today, okay?
Well, yes.
Yeah, I'd like one too.
Okay. Okay? Because you said you could print that out right away.
Yep, I have it on my computer. I just
Okay.
need the vote for it. We
Okay.
need a vote. We didn't
So
vote.
we need well, we have a motion,
we just
but now we
didn't
just
need a
need to vote. Okay. So all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, unanimous.
All right. The next one is the Juneteenth holiday. We missed it for this year, but I just provided you with the letter from DHCD. It is a copy of what our actual holidays are in the personnel policy. It is a state and a federal holiday now, so most of the housing authorities in the area do have it off. So I'm just putting it out there.
You need a vote then for this?
Yeah.
We don't have to vote today on it.
No,
The
we can
holiday was
just get it
Monday.
done now while
But
we're
we-
here.
we could, it would be great
Why delay it? Were
For
you gonna
next
do
year.
it or not?
Okay, what are
I'll
we
make-
voting to do?
to
Make-
add add the
Juneteenth be a
Juneteenth
holiday.
I thought
holiday.
it was already mandated by federal and state.
We're not, from what I understand, we are not employees of the Commonwealth, so we
Oh.
wouldn't get it automatically. It's something that even though we work in a roundabout way for DHCD, so each housing authority board of directors has to actually approve it,
So we have the discretion to approve it or not.
or
approve
not approve it,
it,
yep,
As they say in here, so.
yep. And we don't have a collective bargaining agreement here, so that doesn't come into play.
I'll make a motion to approve the June 19th holiday be added to the policy that presently have on file.
Second.
Okay, did somebody second it?
I did.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Unanimous.
And the last thing really is just a gentleman from the telephone company, which is now GoNet Speed in Granby, sent me an email the other day. They would like to bury a fiber optic cable on the edge of our property across the street. I wasn't aware we owned property across the street.
That was my next question.
We do. We do. We own a small portion of land over there. So I'm just, I'm just letting you know that they're gonna be burying it. And we do own land over there, because I was kind of,
2.44 acres.
So you're letting us know, so they have a right of way to
So-
do it anyway?
well, no, I mean, we can tell them no.
So,
2.44 acres.
So if you look on the back of it, it's, yeah. So right behind the grain store, we own
oh, wow.
a portion of land.
Where's this ESILE property? Who's that?
So
Where's
that is,
That out way out
that's
back
the
there?
house way in back there.
Way in the back with that
Yep.
little single driveway?
Yep,
How do you get to it?
There's
there's
little
a driveway right
Off
after, right before the
202?
grain,
Yeah,
yeah.
you'll see a little driveway there.
Really?
Yep, you think it's just kind of a dirt road going behind the grain
Yeah.
store, but it's,
Where those big towers are?
It's closer between the towers and Country
Yeah.
Grain.
Mhm.
Is anything on there now? Is there any buildings or anything on that
on our
property?
property, no.
No.
Not that I'm aware of.
It's just the
Of course,
land.
Is there buildings on this Joseph East
there's a huge house.
There is a
There's
house.
a beautiful home down there.
So if we own 2.5 acres, can we park stuff down there? I mean, it's our
Wait, this
property.
was all new to us today.
Geez, but then we'll have to get like a transfer bus.
Yeah,
We
Yeah.
want people to bus
We
You
don't
around.
want people crossing the
tractors and,
highways.
Yeah.
lawn equipment. Can we use the right of way?
I would think so. I don't know. Like I say, I called the assessor's office this morning, and She came back with, yep, that is your
Oh,
property.
my goodness.
Are we paying tax on it?
We must
We
be.
are. It's 2.5 acres.
Building value is
What?
land,
Sure. Can Jim speak to you about this?
sure.
I just found out about that property today also, but on my end of things, I would like to at least walk over there, see where the land is, because obviously if somebody puts something right through the middle of the property, it's no longer valuable in a sense.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe someday we'd end up selling it or whatever, and all of a sudden somebody has right away that would be useless. You know, so-
It says here that let's see, it says, as discussed on the phone, we're requesting to put an easement to run a buried fiber optic cable from the edge of the driveway on the property of Joseph Esile to the existing tower on the property of the Granby Housing Authority off West State Street. So evidently, the tower is on our property. Is proposing to run a buried cable, which
We
is
can't tell an orange.
is orange. It's less than 50 feet, and it would be placed in a buried connection box at the base of the tower.
So there's a tower there already.
Right.
So we're getting no revenue from this tower.
Evidently not. I don't
Well,
know.
you know,
What?
I agree. We need to see this property and
Okay.
see what's going on there. I mean, when they put up a cell tower, you get revenue
Well,
from that.
it's-
on your
Some type of
property.
tower, I don't know.
It's not a cell tower.
I don't think it's a cell
It's
tower.
a tower. What kind of tower is it?
I don't,
And what benefit is this cable? Of what benefit is the cable?
It's not to us, it's
No,
the
what this
benefits
guy
to
was-
the
the,
benefit is to the
To the phone
resident.
company?
to the phone
Is to-
company and the town.
Yeah, is the resident, right.
Yeah, we need to see.
And he's talking about running it 50, less than 50.
Less than 50 feet.
Which is,
They're also going to run an aerial cable, which is in the blue, from the tower to an existing utility pole on the gentleman's property.
So then there would be a cable running over our property.
Okay,
Well, I'm sure there already is.
Well, okay, we're tabling this issue right now.
No, I have a
well,
one question.
let's not,
How did you find out about this?
He called me and asked me if he could bury a cable.
This Joseph?
No, the
Terrence.
telephone company, Terrence.
Terrence Turner.
And he just did this yesterday. So
He
you've got-
spoke to me last week, and I asked him to send me an email regarding it.
Did you sense that there's a rush that they do this?
I didn't
For the
get,
resident.
I mean, I didn't get that it was, it's gotta be done right away.
I think we could just wait and let, as Jim said, to have him take a look at what's going
Yeah.
on there before. And then I would say, without voting, if everything looks okay, then I would say it's okay to,
Well, they
if
gotta
Jim
break,
sees it's fine, let him do it.
they're gonna have to break up the road to put the cable
No,
across.
It's,
No.
No,
I don't
they're
think so.
not. He's running it from the guy's property. It's running 50 feet, 15 yards.
On a dirt road.
on a
So
dirt
it's
road.
already torn- it's already torn up.
It's not on the road or anything.
Yeah.
Not here. It's
No, on the
all-
other-
Everything is
it's
over on
across
that
202.
property.
It's just
Okay.
that it's a newfound thing that we have land over there that we did not know about.
Okay, so here's what I'm gonna suggest. You call the guy back, and you say that before we approve it, we want him to meet with Jim, take Jim through everything, exactly what they're gonna do, Jim Dakota, whatever, and you guys then, based on your assessment of what he's gonna do, then you'll give Tammy the decision.
No,
and- and
no,
she'll
they will
either-
not. They will come back to the meeting and give us the decision.
No.
Yes.
No,
They-
let's just move, you're gonna make a resident wait over a month
don't
because
care.
you wanna vote on something.
He did just bring it up, what, 2 days ago? I mean,
it's not,
Yeah.
no big rush. I can't see where there's a
Well,
big
no,
rush.
no, I guess not, just the
But they-
resident, the only person that needs to be patient for a month because they can't hook up to anything
Too bad.
is the resident over
Well,
there.
they've been living like that for the last 50 years, so it's no big deal.
I think it's because it's a new company, they're just upgrading wires and stuff like that.
Well, then they can wait till our next meeting.
That's fine.
Yeah, they probably could wait. They must have
I
some.
mean, if we have to approve it now, then we can't allow somebody to approve it without coming back to the committee.
Okay. I would just leave the decision to our maintenance team.
No, I'm not. That's not what this is. That's not why we have this paper in the first place.
trying.
Okay,
All right.
okay, so
That's all
you'll
I
meet
have.
with them and then I guess at the next meeting we'll vote to either go forward or not go forward.
Dakota, did you want to tell us something?
Yeah, that parcel across the street was previously used for a septic system. prior to hooking up to sewer.
Here?
Yes.
Really?
And
Oh.
we have power line easements over it already because of National Grid and their high tension lines.
Okay.
Just to give you some background.
Okay.
OTT, who just bought out by Net, is looking to run fiber optic through the town. So it's gonna benefit everyone in town, not just one resident on the other side of the park next to it.
Okay,
So in efforts to do that, they need to run it down 202 somehow. And that's probably what they're trying to do.
So there'll be more gear on our property? They're
No.
gonna put more stuff on there? Is that-
No,
they're just
Just
gonna-
upgrade what's there?
Right.
There's a power line easement already on that property. Pretty much everyone over there has one.
That we have no say about anyway?
Because they've already got the easement.
Because they already did it, okay.
And it's a private company, so it's not like it's a, I think they have to seek our permission because it's privately owned. That's not-
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure.
So you
Okay.
still wanna see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course,
Of course.
of course.
I've learned if you don't see it and walk over with somebody, and if it has to go from point A to point B, they're gonna go straight through something that, you know, whether it's usable land or not, rather than maybe make a corner or put a little more effort into what they're doing. So I would feel better, you know, looking at it with somebody.
Okay.
thank you.
Interesting.
All right. That's it for me.
I see those steps were fixed over there. I saw people working.
Yes, we did,
I saw that.
they did put the ramp in,
Okay,
so, looks very nice.
Okay, so next on the list is the treasurer's report.
policy review was there.
Policy review.
This is the grievance procedure I emailed you about?
Yes. Number 5 is policy review and/or approve.
Oh, okay.
What
so
are we
that was
doing now?
The grievance
looking at
The
procedure.
grievance.
Okay.
Okay, so Tammy, why don't you sort of go ahead?
Oh, hang on, I want to make sure I don't think I did.
No.
The warrant reports are in there.
Oh, no,
yeah,
I've got
there it is,
them.
okay.
No, this is
So,
my stuff.
in my conversations with DHCD, they have requested that we adopt a standard grievance report, grievance policy, procedure policy from DHCD, instead of the one that we had.
We used to have this one, and then we adopted the new one. We had one much like this.
Now, the one that I had before I did the one with John Libel was half of what John Libel had, so I'm not sure on it. But this is the standard policy for single hearing officer from DHCD.
With all the issues we had, why did they wait until now? Why didn't they tell us that? I mean,
I think it,
And this was their recommendation, right, from what you
Yes,
said?
this is their lawyer's recommendation to us.
So we have to go through the Hillside Meadow issue all over again with the new policy.
Yes,
they should have told us this months ago.
I know.
is this the full grievance procedure or
This-
just a?
Yeah, that is their manual.
This is the full grievance procedure for a single hearing officer without an LTO, because we do not have an LTO here.
And they say a lot of places you can come with a lawyer or a non-lawyer. I'd love to know what a non-lawyer is.
Yeah,
Not a lawyer.
Well, I know, but my cat could be a non-lawyer.
I know.
And most of this deals with rent and money. I mean, it's really about breaking,
Breaking lease policies, yes, yes.
and it even says, and Gloria pointed this out to me, that it has nothing to do with tenant disputes.
Tenant-to-tenant disputes,
Yeah.
no.
No,
There's
those are not
because that's
grievances.
So there's
those are
no
non-
grievance for that.
Right, that's a non-grievable matter, because whether you get along with your neighbor has got nothing to do with it.
So once we adopt this, all of those kind of just slide away. I mean, what do you say to them?
Yeah, but it's always been that way.
Yeah. that's-
DHCD, every time we go
Even
there,
ours was that
If it's
way, though.
personal, it's always been, that's not grievable
When the tenant can prove
with
that
DHCD.
the other tenant has violated
But who is
the
it
lease.
They would have to take that as a separate matter individually and take it to somebody outside of of our operation, because it's a personal grievance.
Then that's not
So it would
within
be like a
this.
personal tort if something happened, between the two, or something like that. It has nothing to do, it's not in here.
Right.
A problem between two people is not a grievable
It's not
procedure.
only two people, it's everyone in building four.
No, you don't have no clue what we're talking about, Mary.
We're talking about the
Talking about
grievance.
I want to address
You-
this.
we-
what
When
I-
No,
when we
Later.
get there, we will.
Yeah,
Okay.
right now, we're just
But-
talking about what the state wants us to adopt, okay? What DHCD wants us to adopt as policy. When we get to the comments section, you will be able to chime in,
3
okay?
minutes.
So, once we adopt this, which, we should, but there's still no tenant-to-tenant
No,
part of it.
tenant to
Okay, so
tenant,
I'm just saying that the tenants
No.
are not going to be happy.
what
that
does,
this is-
but the tenant to tenant grievances aren't grievances.
According to DHCD.
Unless the one tenant violates the lease towards another tenant. If you're a tenant here and you say to another tenant, I'm gonna run you over with my car, or I'm gonna hurt you, or I'm gonna, whatever, then that's a threat and that's a violation of your
You see
lease.
threats in here, yeah.
Yeah, but if it's just, I'm not getting along with neighbor down the road, that's not, that's not grievable.
So DHCD should just give everybody a pair of boxing gloves, and if you don't get along with your neighbor, take them out in the gazebo and beat the...
Don't
out of
give
them.
any of you.
It's just that then, what do we do with those kind of complaints?
They're not,
We
I
don't
can call
deal
it a
with it.
grievance, call it a complaint.
I understand that,
Yeah.
and this is supposed to, they're not, they just got a letter, they're not grievable, and get along, figure it out.
But you should
So we
know.
do have reading here, the board has a chance to review
Yes,
if
those,
it pertains to certain things.
yes, if it pertains to certain things, the steps are
page
still the
4.
same. You turn in a grievance, I go through an informal with you. If there's no resolution at the informal, then we have a grievance hearing. If the tenant doesn't like what the grievance
Hearing
officer
officer
said,
said.
then they can come to the board. If the board decides to change the grievance officer's decision, then it goes to DHCD for their approval.
Okay.
Who's our single hearing officer?
Well, that's the hard part, is you have to find somebody willing to
To hear the grievance.
hear the grievances. You
I
have
thought you
to,
had somebody that was hearing grievances.
I do have somebody that will hear grievances, but,
It's not an employee.
right, it's not, so it's, you, sometimes they're available, sometimes they're not. Sometimes they're here, sometimes they're not. So it's not.
According to this, a hearing officer, just because can hear anything in the state, it's not just for this
Oh, I know.
Vince Hill.
Oh, I know, but
facility.
it's finding people that are actually willing and able to do that. There
And
aren't many.
that doesn't include us on the board.
Right.
that doesn't
No,
include
we're
this
not a
board.
hearing-
No.
No,
We're not the hearing
no,
No.
officer.
no.
If I
So
could
could one of us
inter-
be appointed that?
Okay, if I could interject for a minute, basically, there's no employee, because I asked Tammy this question, I said, oh, does that mean the hearing officer is an employee of DHCD? No. So what we have to do is we have to go out just like we did, like we found a John Hyde or somebody else. So Tammy relies on our attorney to maintain, who has some contacts, and he finds us one. It's important that we adopt the one hearing thing, because it's hard to find 3 people to come in on the
No, I
initial
think
hearing.
that's fine. I don't see
And
an
then,
issue with that.
right, so written grievance, informal hearing with Tammy, formal hearing with the hearing officer, and then if there's still an issue, then it comes to us. And then only if we change the finding of the hearing officer, does it now go to DHCD for approval, right?
Yeah.
Of our overriding of the
Yeah,
officers.
we've been through this already last
Okay.
month.
Okay. So, any other comments on this? Jim?
When the hearing officer completes this, they have to file within 14 days. Do they shall provide the local housing authority. Does that mean the board, or does that just mean you?
That's me. Normally what happens is they email me their decision, and then I print it out and email, and send it to the tenant or email it to the tenant.
So we wouldn't have access to that unless the tenant wanted to.
Unless the tenant wants to.
Any reason why we wouldn't get that at the same time the tenant gets it as a board? And why wouldn't we, or why should we not?
Because we're not supposed to be in the day-to-day business.
Right.
We would only get it
If it's,
if in fact that individual had the grievance, disagrees with it, now they want to go to the next step. So then so that person would then meet with us, and at that point, we would have access to all the paperwork.
Okay, that makes sense. I'm just curious.
While we're on board can and cannot, Tammy, please, you gave me a copy of a handbook in which the board members' do's and don't do's are listed. I would like that copied and put on each door, not the outside door, but each apartment door.
okay.
Because I am not in any way, shape, or form, and Joe, please attest to this, I'm not in the chain of command of Granby Housing Authority.
Right.
I'm a board member, and that means, Joe, that we oversee Tammy, correct? And Pat make
Yes.
policy.
Yes, and policy.
And policy. Thank you.
The only thing that we're asking as a board of you to do is informally operate like you were ahead of an LTO, but we don't have an LTO, so that you, as a resident here, you understand this environment and you can communicate with other tenants on some of those issues. But yes, everything goes to Tammy. If there's an issue, you're just on the board. You only set policy. You can't do anything except as it's regarded to policy.
I think his issue is there's a lot of things that tenants feel that the board should be involved in, and they're not involved in. The day-to-day operation, maintenance, problems with other tenants, none of that is for the board, and
Right.
more tenants are going to him complaining about things and want it to come to the board when it's got nothing to do with the board.
And on a feeling level, I'd love to wave a magic wand and help everybody out. I can't, no can do. And people get up,
All you can do is tell the tenant to bring it to the meeting.
But it's
that we
not,
have.
it has nothing to do with the board.
It has
It's got,
nothing,
it's day-to-day operation of they don't like something that's going on with another tenant. So it's got really nothing to do with the board. It's
We
not,
can't do anything about it.
right.
we're
So
not
it's
supposed
not-
to do anything.
right.
So it's, I've read through part of it, and it's, to be able to say, this is what the board members are responsible for, and this is what they're not responsible for, and, you not liking what's going, what another tenant's doing on a Saturday at 2, it's not a board issue.
Yeah, and there's nothing the board can really do about it. I mean, I guess we could come out and say some general statement, but.
I've been saying
shouldn't.
I've been saying that at every meeting for a year, that the board is only responsible to Tammy, period. And,
No, we're
nobody else-
responsible for Tammy and we're responsible for policy.
Well, okay, but we're not, I've been saying that for a long time, what our duties are as a board member. I've been,
Okay,
nobody's been listening.
but that's a good
or
idea,
Whatever.
Don.
Thank you.
Yeah, let's get that up there so everybody sort of understands what our role is. I mean, I don't mind trying to help people,
Right.
but then it becomes an ethical issue as far as DHCD does. Joe, you're interfering, Oh, you said that, so that could be construed as X, so that's why we can't. So, okay.
I appreciate it, Joe, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. So we need
Do we want to make a motion? I mean, we're adopting a DHCD policy that has been vetted by them, word for word.
And it makes our other one null and void?
yes.
Yes. And it's based on a policy that acknowledges that there's no LTO. So it gives us the
It's a-
procedures for that.
No LTO, and one hearing officer,
Correct,
period.
correct.
Okay.
Okay? So, when everybody's ready, I would need a motion to approve.
Motion to approve usage of the HCD grievance procedure.
Second.
Jim, do you have any other questions? Okay, then all in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
And I think the tenants are supposed to have a copy of this as well.
yeah, we're gonna be delivering to the tenants for a copy.
Yep.
And then
It's gotta go to, I have to send it to DHCD for their approval. Once it's approved, then.
Wait, they have to approve
They have to
their
approve what
policy?
what we've approved.
Oh, God.
it's a rubber stamp.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
we're approving it verbatim.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, it's not like it's an issue.
So any grievance has to be reissued under this policy.
Now, this is now our policy for grievances, so in the case of the individual that we're supposed to go forward on, this is the policy that we're following, and Tammy is handling all that for how that's scheduled. But we're not involved at all. We're not getting any more emails on the stuff, we're not being dragged into the process. Carolina, is it? Has
Carolina.
communicated back to the individual that, you know, what these things are in this process, and so now Tammy will set everything up with a single hearing officer, and we'll go through the grievance procedure according to this procedure. And I guess, Tammy, am I right in saying that if after that, there is no agreement, then it'll come back once more to us?
To you, yep.
Okay. And then at that point, those grievances will be resolved because a decision has been made. So if you want to continue to complain, you know, it's not going to be a grievance. Nothing further will go after
Thank
once
you.
the final decision is made. Okay? So we're on to the treasurer's report first.
Should be in there now. Keep looking.
I just want to let you know, the laundry,
I said no one's doing laundry this month.
no, actually, the coin machines are broken at the bank, so we weren't able to get the money in for May. It did get in for June, but we've got to go to Island Pond Road in Springfield to use their coin machine. Yeah, it's the only one
But-
around.
The People's Bank down near BJ's has a coin machine.
Right, and it's broken every time yeah. It
That
just-
one's broken too, because I just used it.
Yeah, well, it depends on the day. You know,
Yeah,
I mean, we go
okay.
to do the banking, we call them, we say, is your machine, depends on which branch we're going to do the banking, is your coin machine working? And,
Okay.
you know, yes, we're lucky, if not,
So you need a lot of quarters here.
huh?
You need a lot of quarters here in the office?
Well, when the quarters go in, they have to bring them to the bank to
You know, at this point,
Can I ask
it's
you
like
what,
$250 for a coin machine, I'm thinking about it.
what are we using this money for, this laundry account?
The laundry account, well, it's just kind of in there for the repairs for the laundry. Like, we have a washing machine that's broken, and it's non-repairable, and he's looking for a new machine for us, so it will have to buy
It's all
another.
commercial
Yeah.
machines.
Yeah,
Who is
so,
he? Who is he looking?
Dan, from Dan's Appliance is who we use,
I
and
see.
he is trying to find us a
Do you
machine.
do you ever use that appliance store in Chicopee, the second-hand one? The
Jaguars?
Jaguars,
Is it
no.
Jaguars?
Is it a business?
Yeah.
No, they're in there, I just bought some.
Really?
Yeah. Somebody might want to call and
But we have
see.
to have it coin operated, so
Well, if you
it's.
call and ask, they might be able to
Okay.
do something.
Okay, I'm just gonna throw something out again like I threw out a couple of years ago when we bought these. And that is, why, I mean, just make them free. Why
No,
charge
no,
coins? Make them free.
no.
Then you can get over-the-counter top-end washing machines at Home Depot, buy the 5-year maintenance agreement. My buddy runs the maintenance agreement thing for Sears, because everything's obsolete after 5 years. So then it's maintenance, they come in, they take care of it up to 5 years. After it breaks down again, you throw it away because it's too expensive to repair it. So I'm not saying we're gonna do it, but I'm just saying that that could simplify things. Yes, it would give up revenue on the laundry, but I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing personally. I don't think it significantly impacts our budget.
Tammy, about how much would you say we get a year from laundry?
Well, it's roughly, we get half, well, we deposit about $500 a month.
500 a month?
Oh, so
So-
that's $6,000 a year.
So,
Wow.
but from that, there's expenses that come out of it, so that's why it's roughly about half of what it is. So, the only problem with using, the regular washing machines that aren't commercial grade is just these machines are going nonstop.
Okay.
There's so many people that are doing laundry in them that it's,
So you have to have a better performance
You'd have
monitor,
to,
all of
yeah.
that. Okay, I get it. But they don't sell 5-year maintenance agreements, do they?
No.
Okay. Okay.
Not when they know it's used every day,
Yeah.
7 days a week.
Really?
Oh, my gosh.
Okay.
This morning they were fighting over them.
Who won?
Oh.
We need a bigger laundry room, probably.
That would be a good idea.
I know.
Another couple machines worth
There's
in.
enough room there on the back that maybe you could expand it out a little bit. No, well, no new roof.
But,
Well, it's.
sorry, Building 2, you don't get a new roof this year.
Okay, anyway.
Nothing else is out of the ordinary in this.
Okay.
It's all right on the report?
Yeah.
On the report, no, not really. We
Any-
did have one of the 705s who cleared off a $2,000 balance, so that
Oh,
it's
wow.
lower than it lists there, but
Mm-hmm. Well, it's still a significant balance.
So we have one empty unit?
no, it was filled this month. So we are full everywhere
Well,
until the middle of July, and then
Have
we
they
have,
moved in?
yes,
Yeah, they've moved in now. Okay. Thought you were just commenting that you had
Yeah.
12, 11, and one down here.
yeah.
Okay. Okay, then I
Make a motion, we
need
approve the treasurer's report from
Second.
us dated May 31st, 2022.
Second?
okay, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And the warrant report.
And then the warrant report?
So we had a bunch of big bills this month, so.
So, on page 2, Tammy, is the deadbolt latch, is that a one-time thing? The Amherst Lock Works?
Well, the deadbolt latch broke, so we had to replace it.
Okay, okay.
$916 on page 3, is that the one you're talking about?
No,
No, there's more, oh boy.
for Amherst locks?
No, that is materials and supplies, Home Depot. It's on page 3, second entry.
Home Depot.
$916 supplies.
Yeah. I thought that's what you were, oh, the 3,000 on the next page, okay. There you
The
go.
audit.
Is that it, the audit?
Yeah, we had to pay the auditor
And then the
$37.80.
solar.
And then we had to pay the
Solar.
retirement.
Retirement
People.
at $12,000, you do
Yep.
that. So that's
It's twice a
20
year.
That's twice a year at about that amount. Solar operator costs for 1 month, okay.
So this concrete Russo's, the step hallway, what is that? Is that the one-
Hallway 14, we took the step out and made a ramp.
Remember?
So isn't that covered under the,
We have to pay it, and then we'll
And then
try
they
and get the,
reimburse it?
we'll try and get the money from it.
Okay.
but It's not a guarantee.
okay. Yeah, we did have a lot of bills this month, big ones.
We have their own
Is that the going rate for the hearing officer?
Oh, no, they came in, I'm sorry, they came in last
What
week
page
and
is
signed
that?
checks.
Page 3.
I'm sorry.
The hearing officer, is that the going rate? How many hearings was that?
That was for two
2 hearings?
hearings.
And how much was it? What page was it on?
$600.
Page 3, $600.
Okay, $300 a hearing.
Not bad, I got paid.
Where's our page, huh?
Yeah.
You did a hearing.
I'll be a hearing officer.
You gotta do a report,
kidding.
you know, you gotta, that's a
No,
lot of work.
yeah, hey, there's a lot of time involved.
Yep.
I mean, John spent, I would say we spent 2 hours on the phone after. So, okay. If there's nothing else, I need a motion to approve.
Motion to approve the warrant report as
Second.
written.
Second?
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, and now, public comment.
I would like to say something about the problem we're having with the tenant at 44. He started a fire in his apartment and he wasn't even there. He left food cooking on the stove. And 11:30 at night, the fire department came and he wasn't even in the apartment. He plays loud music starting at 5 in the morning, and one morning it was 3 in the morning and he was out in the hallway playing music and Thelma couldn't even go to bed. There's no noise level policy in this place of what time you can do what, when, where, and how. And something needs to be done so people can rest and relax in the place they live. The people that work here are trying everything they can, but he just doesn't seem to get the message that he can't play music that loud at 5 in the morning. And I'm outside having a cigarette and I hear it. And I've asked him to turn it down. He's thrown his guitar in my flower beds. He has no respect for anyone here. And I think we need to come up with a time level of when this noise level needs to stop. It can't be at 5 in the morning and it can't be at 10 at night. Thelma goes to bed early. She's 90 years old. He knocks at her door all the time and asks for money and asks for food. And it's ridiculous. I don't feel safe coming home at night when I babysit. I call her to come out to the doorway to watch me walk in the house because I'm so afraid of him. And that's not right.
Tammy, have you been made aware of this?
Yeah.
I gave her a letter, a threatening letter he wrote to me today.
I have told them on the noise to call the police department. The noise ordinance is 10 to 7.
In town?
In
Yeah.
town, to call the police
In
department.
town.
Yeah.
So-
I thought there probably was
Yep.
an ordinance in the town.
Everyone in Building 4 was woken up that night at 11:30 for that fire alarm.
Is that a violation of any lease that we
Nope. No, it's, I mean,
Is the letter threatening enough to be a
I have,
violation?
honestly, I haven't gotten it in today.
Okay.
If it is, I'll deal with it. He's had something on the stove, he came up here for some reason, forgot it was on the stove, and the fire department, the alarm went off, and the fire department came.
Was there
But-
any damage?
No, didn't even
Just
start a
smoke.
fire, it was just smoke.
Okay.
So it's, I understand it, I understand their frustrations, but it's no different than somebody burning toasts at another point, you know, I mean, I get it's 11:30 at night. You know, I personally wouldn't want him knocking on my door begging for money.
Did
But
that,
he's
did that
not-
individual make a complaint, a person
Nope.
that?
Nope.
What do the police do when there's a violation of the noise ordinance?
I
I'm
tell
not-
them to be
They
quiet.
said that we don't have a policy here of a time period. And
It's-
unless we enact one, he can do it whenever he wants.
There's
Oh,
a
you mean
town
that?
policy that covers,
Okay, here's what I would suggest. A one paragraph letter goes back to him and just says, we want to remind you that although we don't have a specific noise policy, that the town ordinance is from 10 to 7. And that if you violate that, then, you're liable to be, visit from the police. And if it, something to that effect. So to basically
Police have
ring
been here
him.
numerous times and talked to him. It doesn't matter.
So can we do a noise ordinance policy?
We could.
There's some printed in here that attached to this, so where do these come from? Local Housing Authority?
Mhm.
I'm not sure what you're looking at.
Well,
Jill,
tenant's
somebody wants to
obligations,
make a comment.
it's in the, well, it looks like it's, noise. It's got DHC,
Are you looking at a lease?
no, it's attached to whatever this.
What is that?
Maybe it's in
Oh,
error
you want-
because you got something in error you shouldn't.
Okay, well, then that's a good
Really?
thing.
No, I don't think you're getting it away from me.
So I have two.
Oh, what do you mean I shouldn't have gotten that?
that in the
I mean,
Grievance?
I've seen
where
that
did this
before.
come from?
It came from,
That came from me.
her.
Okay,
I'm
you
lawyer.
have to, you
And
you
you
have to
asked
give it
that.
to me.
You asked that.
I
yeah.
know, I told her
I don't
that.
have,
She did.
you can't just pass up to the board. It has to come through me.
It is
Why not?
exactly what you said. Jerry.
Because she's the manager of the operation.
But
And
I've seen this.
technically,
I don't know.
we're
I
not
haven't-
supposed
I
to
don't know
have
what it is.
direct
This is,
contact.
I
That's
paid
their
my
lease.
lawyer
It's
to
online.
make that
I've
out,
seen
to
this.
show the things he is doing wrong.
I've seen it.
And I feel my right as a tenant to show this to you so you're aware, because you're not here every day. You don't see all this that happens.
Okay, I don't disagree with that. It's just that, so that all of us can see that, you need to submit it to Tammy and let Tammy
And
make
what
a
if
copy
Tammy
for all.
chooses not to report it to you?
Well,
But
she would report it to me because you would be in a meeting here talking about that. And if we didn't receive it, then we would be on Tammy's case about not giving it to
you're
us.
not day-to-day
Tammy.
Well, she's
operation.
done everything she can to make this stop, but he's not violating any of his rights here.
Okay, so what should we use for a noise policy?
He's raising his hand.
Dakota was about to say something.
Okay, Dakota, I'm recognizing you. Go ahead.
When the cops showed up yesterday, me and Jim went to take a talk with them about this matter, and he informed us that there's no physical noise ordinance in the town of Granby.
Oh, okay.
And that it's not a police matter.
Mhm.
We shouldn't be referring to the police for this. It should be handled here.
Hmm.
And Mary was there, she talked to him, and Jim was, the three of us were there yesterday when the cops were on site.
And you called him yesterday, the police yesterday, why?
I did,
Why?
yesterday afternoon,
Why?
because he was out there without a shirt.
Okay.
And
Do we have
people
a
here
program?
have complained that they do not want to watch a man walk around here or in a wheelchair without a shirt.
Okay, that one's not gonna get much traction.
Am I correct
Okay,
that this
so
has
what's
only
the
happened, this has happened in the last 3 weeks?
This
has
has
been
been
ongoing.
happening since the gentleman moved in here.
In April? I'm just looking at what's here, I don't know.
Yeah, it was probably the end of April. He took the apartment and went in for surgery and was in a nursing home until April.
He knocks
Okay.
on Thelma's door all the time,
Okay.
and her daughter has told her, do not open that door to him. Because you don't know what he's going to do.
This is one of those tenant-to-tenant things that we're not,
So I wanna
It's
know
not
what,
a tenant, it's the whole building floor. And then he goes over here and walks in people's apartments. It's all the buildings. It's every building.
Well, if he's really walking inside a person's apartment, that's trespassing if he wasn't invited.
But the,
That's a violation.
But he won't leave.
well,
He
that's
goes
a
over to
police
that other handicapped apartment, and that man doesn't lock the door because he has helpers come in. He can't get in and out of his bed. He goes in there and steals the man's cigarettes.
has that man made a complaint?
He's gonna be writing something up and bringing it in to me. He did come in the other day to talk to me.
Thank you.
Okay, because those kinds of things would be
Mhm.
violations.
Yep.
So Mary, you
Those are
said,
tenant violations.
you said you have an attorney.
I have an attorney,
What
yes.
did your attorney say?
Pardon me?
What did the attorney say? That
My
you-
attorney told me, told me to highlight the parts of my lease that he is violating.
So
And
you.
that's what I did. I
you-
highlighted
She
it.
highlighted it, not her attorney.
I don't know. You highlighted it. You
I
highlighted it.
highlighted it, yes. And like I said, when I come home on Tuesdays and Thursday nights from babysitting, I call her to watch me walk from my car into my apartment because I am so afraid that what he is doing is gonna harm me. I shouldn't have to be that way. I've lived in this town for 55 years. And I've never had a problem.
So you feel that you're being physically
I
threatened?
feel that my life is in danger with him here. And I do not trust him.
Does he make threats?
He wrote me a threatening letter and I gave it to Tammy this morning.
Okay, okay.
So just not solving this, Tammy, what's your plan of action? What do you do next? What do you think you need to do here?
Well, first of all, I need to read the threatening letter.
Okay.
And
Makes sense.
just read through this and get the letter from the other tenant and then sit down with him, with the other.
But you've had a conversation with this tenant already?
I've spoken to the gentleman that lives in Building 1 about the Building 4 tenant going into his apartment, and I told him he had to write it up or have one of his aides or whatever write it up and bring it in to me. And then I would sit down and I would talk to him, because I said, but in the meantime, you need to lock your door. I said, you know, you can't just,
But have you had a
Have
conversation with the tenant in question here?
no, Mary brought that up for me today, and I haven't had it, I told him that he should probably put a shirt on, but
But the
I
noise,
can't.
he's not
the
talking about?
noise, I've told him that, yeah, from 10 to 7, he should keep it down. But
And it's not,
whether he does or not,
Shelley listened to it yesterday and she said there's no time ordinance. He can do this as much as he wants.
when did Shelley listen to it yesterday?
Yesterday.
Yesterday at what time?
When she left the office, she stopped
All right, but
and I said to
see,
her,
the way I
listen to
look at
this.
That's still
it's
legitimate
during the
time.
day.
Yeah, unfortunately during the
You
day.
know,
You and I were
I
sitting there
get
trying to
during the
talk. We
day
couldn't even hear each other.
Can be, you could play, you know, within reason, but at night, you shouldn't be. The knocking on the other doors, I will address with him.
okay. So this is going out further than building 4?
Yeah.
Is it affecting the whole complex?
Yeah.
That's
Yes,
true then.
yes.
All right, so you've got to try to attempt to do something.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sure you already know that.
Because this is one of those issues that brings people to my door on a Saturday afternoon or a Friday evening.
Now, he can, there isn't, you know, as long as his pants are on, he can walk around, he can go around without a shirt. We can't make him put a shirt on. You know, it's not what everybody wants to see, however, you know, we can't force him to put clothing on.
As
We
long
can
as
force
it's-
him to keep a pair of pants on.
Yeah, right.
Well, at some point, you're going to have an in-depth conversation with
Yep.
this person about your concerns, of every
Yep.
concern, and hope for the best. You would hope that, you know, if this was me, you start to realize that I guess I'm doing things, I like doing these things, but it's affecting
Everybody.
other people, so,
Apparently doesn't have much regard for that.
well, but you got to have that conversation anyway,
Oh,
then you
sure,
go
you
from
gotta
there.
start to
Got to start from
of
there.
it. And if we want to make a noise policy, we can adopt
Can adopt
a
one.
noise
Okay,
policy
did
or
you say
write one
that
up.
you
and-
saw a noise policy?
And who would enforce that?
No,
I'm
it's,
looking what has been attached to this letter. I don't know where it came
Okay.
from, but
That's the
This
letter
is the one that Mary passed
Mary
out.
just gave you.
Isn't that part of the lease?
this is
Yeah, I
part of the
recognize
lease, yes,
word.
part of the lease that,
that everybody
Every tenant
signs.
signs.
so,
'Cause
so
we're all-
if he
So
signed
here's-
it, he's already breaking the
I know,
lease.
we read it a million times with all the other grievances.
Am I correct? If this is correct, then this is what the tenant signed here, he's breaking the lease.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He needs to
So
be
now
told
he
that,
needs to
and
be
then
put on notice.
if it's not correct, then see you later.
Yeah.
Each tenant has a file, right?
Yes.
So if you,
Show it to him, he signed it, go from there, excuse me.
If you talk, if you talk to him, it should be documented in his file that you have spoken to him.
Right.
And after three times, you're out.
Well,
Well,
it doesn't work that
that's not,
way.
that's not how it
Excuse me,
works.
Tammy,
Whatever you need to do.
Jim?
Okay.
Randy.
I was, actually, this gentleman here that lives in Building 1, when the gentleman we're discussing about was over there, he was leaving stuff in the middle of the sidewalk, trip hazard, and I'd been made aware by this individual that he had been in his apartment while he was in bed, looking for cigarettes and stuff, coming in and out, always at his doorway and that. And I had a conversation with him. I told him it's not allowed to go in people's apartments. You can't leave the stuff in the middle of the walkways for trip hazards for everybody else to pass by. And he was taking a hose, allegedly, and I can see this, and washing himself up in front of one of the units.
I saw that.
And when I confronted him about this, okay, because he doesn't have a voice box and he has his issues. And one of the other tenants told me as I walked away, he flipped me off. Which isn't the end of the world. I've been flipped off before. I don't really care, but he has no respect.
He has no respect for anyone.
Okay.
And that's my opinion. You know?
Who are you?
Well, definitely going in uninvited into somebody's apartment is trespassing.
Well, it
That's a
has to be
violation.
documented. He had,
Okay, so,
I think Tammy knows what she needs to do.
yeah, so on this issue, and then we'll deal with it next time, and the question is, do we need a noise policy?
If it's in the
If
lease,
it's in the lease, we don't.
Well, right, in the lease, it doesn't say, there's no
okay,
specific
we've
set
spent our
hours.
15 minutes on tenant discussion.
Yeah.
Well, I get it, Gloria, but this is a big issue, so.
You know,
it
this
takes
is the
long-
second time that you have said something to me at a meeting that I really object to.
Well, then I apologize if I've offended you, Gloria, but even though we set
I
the...
think we can discuss it at a different time.
Okay, we can
Thank
discuss
you.
it in our next meeting.
That's
here
right.
after this. Okay,
Is there a sound thing? I'm just kind
No,
of
but
trying.
here's
No, it's,
disturbances
on
and
the
loud
page
noises.
one of the lease, there's a
Page
noise
7.
where it's,
Okay.
it says no disturbance or loud noise.
Yeah.
Okay, so why don't we try to make a policy and present it at our next meeting about noise?
Right,
sound?
because
It's a decent
it's
hour, like 8 o'clock.
a high volume,
Till 8 o'clock.
high volume to two people are two different things, so.
Yes, you're right. And maybe
It's
there's a hearing issue,
interpretation.
and yeah,
Yeah, it's,
that's gonna be a tough one.
But, you know, Tammy, all you can do is if they complain, get something in writing from the
right.
tenants, and
What
then that
I-
way it
yep.
gives you
Man,
something
you know,
to...
Mary told me about the letter a couple weeks ago, and she finally brought it in today, so.
Okay.
okay, is there anybody else on the
No,
list?
nobody wanted to talk. I even asked her, and she said, no, she didn't want to talk,
Okay.
but then she did this,
Okay,
so.
so is there any other unfinished business?
No?
Okay.
No.
So then we are going to adjourn into executive session.
Choose our next meeting before we do.
7:20, okay for everyone? That way I
7
have,
Okay, I'm not going to be at the next meeting. I'm in
only that way
Florida.
it gives me time to get the paperwork from Gary.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, I get-
appreciate you doing something about this, because it's really concerning.
We understand.
All I can ask, if you have any complaint, please don't bring it to us, bring it to Tammy, and let Tammy
I
present
didn't
it.
know what the protocol was.
And let Tammy present it to us. That's just, you know, that's just what the protocol is. So, I just make everybody aware that, please, we don't want to not listen, but just, if you go through the channels, it works better.
Okay, I appreciate
Please.
you letting me know that.
Thank you.
Want to push it off a week then, Joe? Are you back in the week later?
I'm not back. My daughter's house burned down in Florida, so we're going down, Christina, so we're going down for 3 weeks, so I won't even be back until July
Is she all
1st.
right?
Yeah, oh yeah, they were all gone.
July 1st? You mean August 1st?
August 1st.
I'm sorry, August 1st, so we have a July meeting, you can still run the meeting, that's fine, there's no reason,
20th work for everyone else?
yeah.
And maybe we can have that on the agenda to have a policy for sound, or whatever.
And can we,
A noise-ish policy.
Yes, and the
Could I ask about maybe pushing it back 1 week? I might have a possible conflict on the 20th.
Okay, so what would the date be?
So what do you want?
27.
What date do you
27?
want?
Oh, that way, I thought you were going the other way. Okay,
No.
27.
27?
Well, I'm just asking if,
Yep,
Nope, that's
2
fine.
o'clock?
yeah, unless someone wants to do morning.
Anybody want to do morning?
Anybody what?
Want to do morning?
Is that what day of the week?
That's a Wednesday
It's a
still?
Wednesday.
Gloria, I know you don't like mornings.
I don't either.
You don't like, what, I'm not talking 8 o'clock. No!
No, I don't want to
It's
do
just that
it.
2 o'clock sort of ruins the day, you know?
Right.
Sort of ruins
I'm
the
okay.
day.
Well, we can do 10 o'clock, if you want to do it 10
10
o'clock.
would be much better.
All right, 10 o'clock.
That way that,
Wow.
Want me to call you?
Yeah, call me. Make sure I'm up.
Make sure there's
10 a.m.
coffee for you.
Yeah, make sure there's coffee for me. And can we take up the bullying policy next
Yeah,
meeting?
I
Thank
will, I
you.
apologize.
Thank you.
Yeah, so the
Sorry,
next
Joe.
meeting, noise policy, bullying policy.
okay, maybe we could have a policy for each one that we could present, maybe.
Oh, it's already been a first
Oh.
reading.
Oh, I don't,
Yeah, we did a
We
first
did a
reading
first
last
reading
month, Gloria.
I just
okay.
missed
Yeah.
it.
I don't,
But I suggest you gotta add in some, what's gonna happen if someone
Yeah,
breaks.
right, consequences.
You gotta add some of that in the policy.
Right.
did we get it last time?
Yeah, we,
It was the
Just a run
petition
through.
that they
Petition that they
sent in to me.
and then I had a policy that we kind of,
Yeah. In
Correct,
terms of
yeah.
how we try to define it.
yeah.
I'll have to look for
Okay.
it.
So when you get that done, hopefully like in the next week on the bullying policy, then email it out to everybody. Okay, so she'll email it out early.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so was there any other business anybody had before we go into executive session?
All right.
Okay, so we're gonna wait a minute until they adjourn and then we're gonna.
Meeting adjourned.
Meeting is adjourned.